everyone, this is Warpster77 tuning into another video, and today I was doing a bit of metacognicizing, and if you don't know what metacognicizing is, it's basically where you think about thinking. And when you think about thinking of how things work, you start to put things together in your head. So it's kind of like brainstorming, but at a much, much higher scale, and what you're thinking about doesn't necessarily have to even be proven real. It's more just like theorizing, but you use logic to dictate it from previous things. Essentially, I got onto the topic of why do we, as humans, create more humans, which is procreation, or reproduction, or however you want to put it. And I started really thinking about it like, children are expensive. Children are not prepared to survive. Children can be a burden. Children can also bring upon death. And it also has to do with pregnancy, is how you go through the process. And I'm just thinking to myself, now some people have kids on accident. Some people do plan. There are also people who just feel the instinct to do it. Now, what is that instinct? And that's what drives it down to where ideology is, because every person I've asked says, oh, they bring joy, it's a wonderful blessing, and I'm thinking, what is that blessing? What is that to appeal to someone? Because gaining logically, a child will actually set you farther back than it will boost you up, which is why most women don't actually go into leadership roles as much as males do. Now, though, I'm not saying there aren't those that exist. They do. It's just they're a lot less because girls want kids. And that's more of a female drive, but there are proud fathers. There are proud fathers out there. And to be honest, they're kind of cringy to me. It's like, yeah, I knocked my wife up and now she goes through 9 months of fucking hell. And then I said, pop that son of a bitch out. And I'm thinking like, no. No. So, this drive, this click, this blessing, what is it? Well, some people call it intuition to carry on the human species. Now, what is that intuition? It's the intuition of every other animal and creature out there except one, the panda. The panda does not have that instinct. The panda will only have sex to procreate. Maybe, I think it was, once every year or something like that? Like, really, really, really low. Really low. And the mother is not even that good of a cub. So, pandas are literally the worst parents of Mother Nature we have, aside from maybe us. And then there's actually the Tasmanian devil, which eats her children that don't prove. Or the sharks. The sharks will actually eat each other in the womb, but that's a different story. So, we're on to this instinct that is proven. There are some exceptions in nature. But nature tends to want to create life and fill it in wherever there's a missing gap. So, is this just a matter of, I think I want to really carry on my species, or is it more of, there's something in me telling me to do this, and if it happens, I will accept it. What is that? Consciousness brings up the idea of morals and ideologies, and that's what creates a soul. A soul resonates inside a human person that, for some reason, exists. Now, metacognicizing a soul is much, 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 much more different, and I won't go into that. We're sticking to pregnancy and why we want to ideologize procreation, reproduction. So, thinking back to that, what is this instinct? Where does it come from? They call it the pineal or the pituitary gland. It's the thing that causes boys and girls, when they hit puberty, to become more sexually active and, well, go through puberty. They believe it's somewhere residing in there, but it can date back to littler kids, such as wanting to play house. Who has seen or who has ever played house? And if you ever had a female neighbor, you always are husband and wife. That's how it works. You go to the doctors, and bam, baby, and then life happens. Go to job, come home, mom makes work. Where does that come from? It's society. That's where it comes from. Now, people will see this, and as younglings, well, littler ones, it is those who grow up in a bigger family that oftentimes see as having kids is what is taught to them to be right, especially if it's the older sibling who gets to see the littler ones come out. That's where most of the families start. But the youngest sibling oftentimes doesn't have that much of a family. Sorry, I choked on myself. Need to breathe. Okay. So, when we have those littler ones that don't have as much versus the bigger ones, we can only see this as an example. Now, that doesn't have to say for literally every circumstance. Humanity is an exception in itself. So, I'm just generalizing statistics. So, metacognition doesn't work on statistics. It works on logic. And what we see the logic here is that when people see this as to being okay, then they want to follow in adults' footsteps. Children are like sponges. They absorb information and retain it. That's why a child can get more scarred than a person can. Like, you have to be pretty emotionally distressed to be scarred as an adult or go through a really traumatic experience. But for a child, we're learning and enveloping in this new world that we've come into. So we're just taking things as we see it and then putting it together and bam. Most people don't think about what they see though, so they think only on that part. People who metacognitize though, oftentimes kind of just go off on their own and think for what they see now and put things together then. What they had as a child, as for experiences, they don't really carry as much. People call those people indigo children or psychics or some other bullshit. They're just people who actually use their brain, so they might as well be fucking superhuman. So, essentially, it's how we perceive things. Now, it also could be religious. Now, it's said in the book of the Bible that God commanded forth to say, be fruitful and multiply. He told that to all the animals in that book. There's not many religions, though, that also tell them to be fruitful and multiply. They say it in different ways, such as in Islam, the Quran, and then also in other tribes, like, what did they say? It's like Aborigines. They put men through a trial. Like, there's a lot of things that go through trial when it comes to mating, and how that works, I don't really fucking know. But the idea is to father a son so that that son carries on your name, and your name is another thing, so to carry on a piece of yourself. Fact is, fun fact, people will forget you, regardless. I don't remember my great-great-grandfather. Fuck, I don't even know his name. So, that could also be a reason why people want to be remembered. But, fact is, aren't going to be remembered that much. So, still why? Why do we do it? Answer is, we don't really fucking know. People breed like rats. There are some people who can't even have children and really want them, so they adopt. I believe another one is for a woman to also kind of cement things with the husband, being the idea of, maybe if I have this child, he'll stay with me. Doesn't always work out that well. Then there's other theories as to, maybe it is because the woman or the man want something to love them forever, especially the woman's side. The female side of the brain seeks attention and compassion. The male side, oftentimes, thinks more pleasure, constriction, and effective means. So it's actually the male side of the head that sees children as not being prosperous, unless they think of this reason. To build a family, wow, that went dark really fast. To build a family, you also then grow strength in numbers, and with that, you can seek more work and prosperity. Females seek love and attention from their children, and hopefully that's how it works out. And that's my metacognition for most of the part. It goes into some other things that really can't be backed up or logically explained through facts, as so much it is opinions in my head that really could not be as supportive as to the metacognition I have presented to you. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Warpster77 signing out. Hasta.